Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalam ala rasulullah ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear Islam, and welcome to another reminder of the Friday khutbah, the summary. This is to your service, Brother Alaa, coming to you live from Isna, Canada. Jazakumullah khairan from bringing into our home. And again, please keep supporting us to keep this drive alive. I'm just going to give you a summary of the khutbah today, and it was all about perspective, about how we see things, and how we hear it, and how we act, walk the talk. And today I'm going to share a few stories with you that I've received, and also some of the reminders that hopefully it will find your heart, and hopefully it will change our mind, hearts, and souls. So we'll meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a serene heart. Ameen. The story starts with a man that wanted to marry a woman. When he wanted to ask about her, everybody was telling her bad things about her. So he came back, putting his foot down. An old man, a wise man, saw him and says, "Son, come, what plagues you? Why are you sad?" He says, "I wanted to marry this girl and love her very much, but everybody's telling me bad things about her." He says, "Don't worry, I'll let you marry my daughter, but before you do, go ahead and ask about her." So he felt a little better, at least he can get something. And then he went around and he asked about old man's daughter. Everybody again was telling him everything that is bad about her. And he came back to the old man. He said, "What did they say?" He said, "Well, everybody said bad things about her too." He says, "Well, come with me. Let's go home." And when he went home, he says, "Do you see, son, I don't even have daughters. You see, people will always say bad things about people. They haven't even left the deceased in the grave alone. Do you think they're going to leave the living alone?" So lesson learned. I'm going to finish with another story. This young man is telling a story that how much he learned from his teacher. That he once stole something from another student and he felt bad about it. But that teacher changed his life. And the story goes that this young man was poor. He wanted a few things. And he saw that some of the things that the other students had, but he couldn't afford to buy. So he stole it. So one of the students declared it, "I lost my watch." So right now, the teacher closed the class out and he said, "Everybody stay where you are. All you have to do is face the wall, and I'm going to come around, put my hand in your pocket. Everybody close their eyes. Nobody will know who it is." So the teacher went around and finally found the watch in that young man's pocket. So he took it and he said, "Everybody go back to your seat." And he gave the watch back to its rightful owner. So that young man is grown. He said, "I learned a lot that day. Now I am a successful businessman. I went back to my teacher and I told him that I learned a lot from you. Let me pay back." He said, "What is it?" He said, "Don't you remember me?" He says, "Not really, I don't remember you." He says, "Don't you remember the day that I actually took a watch from my student, and when you found it, you didn't say who I was?" He said, "Son, don't you know that I also closed my eyes. So I actually did not know who stole the watch." Wallahi, I get goosebumps when I'm telling you these stories. So please, brothers and sisters, don't fish for fault. Close the eyes of each other's fault. Look into your own fault. And that's why the Sahaba radwanullah alayhim ajma'in used to be busy looking after their own faults. They don't worry about anybody else because they're not going to be held accountable for anybody else's fault. That's why they were so busy cleaning their own. So let us clean our own. Speaking of that, look at the world at this point. I know we have to look on the positive, but it's a lesson learned for us. Even though, my brothers and sisters, it's just a matter of perspective, as we said earlier. The air is not being cleaner, but we still have to wear masks. The hands haven't been cleaner, but we still cannot shake hands. The money we have, we still cannot fulfill our dreams. And those who have money cannot spend it, and those who don't have money cannot earn it. Those who have time cannot travel, and those who have health cannot do anything. And those who don't are plagued with just a matter of time. And those who think about it, and the time you have to cook, but you cannot bring the friends over. Even though you have friends, but you cannot sit together or get together. And everything that we do, it's just a matter of perspective. Why? Because this world right now is a matter of things that we cannot see is a culprit. Imagine the man that was told, "Are you blind?" And he was blind. Some people were making fun of him. You know his answer? And that's what I'm going to finish with, inshallah. Meaning the perspective, the vision. He says, "Are you blind?" They were making a mockery of him. So his answer was amazing. He says, "The blind is the one that sees an orphan and cannot help. The blind is the one that sees a widow and that cannot help. The blind that stands in the first line in the prayer but turns his back on the needy. The blind puts his forehead down to the ground, but he is arrogant about the creation. The blind is the one that reads the Quran but still lies. The one that does the siyam and doesn't stay away from the haram. The blind is the one that raises his hand to Allah, but is the hand that hits. The blind is the one that reads the Quran, fast and siyam, and he adds or aids to the oppressed. The blind that sees his life passes by and doesn't do anything to end on the positive. The blind is the one that walks to the masajid, but walks away from Quran and Sunnah. The blind that doesn't see straight. It is not the blind of the vision, it's the blind of the heart. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that clear sight to see what is right as right and follow it, and what is wrong as wrong and stay away from it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a clear vision to be able to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a serene heart. Ameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu alayhi wa sahbihi wa tabi'in. Jazakum Allah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.